Hey, what's up, you guys? This is Ben and Caleb from B&C Pokemon. What's up, Ben?
Hey.
So we're going to be doing Malamar. What do you think about when you think about Malamar?
When I think about Malamar, I think of the psychic recharge Malamar.
Right, so why would we do a video about that?
Why would we do that? That's what everyone plays.
We're not. We're going to be talking about Hypnotic Rain Dark Malamar. This is a Malamar from, I believe it was Unbroken Bonds.
That's pretty spicy.
Yeah, so let's just get right into it. So we are going to start with 4 Inkay. We want to, Malamar's the star of the show. We want to get 4 Inkays out quickly. We want to make sure we're getting a couple of Inkays in play each game. You probably want 2 or 3 each game, so we are playing a full line of 4. And then we are playing 3 Malamar. Now, this Malamar has an attack called Hypnotic Rain. It says your opponent reveals their hand. You may discard a Pokemon you find there and use one of that Pokemon's attacks that is a non-GX attack as this attack. And that attack costs 1 dark energy. You do not have to have the energy required to use that attack, so you can use any Pokemon in your opponent's hand. You can force them to discard it and use one of their non-GX attacks. Any of those big attacks that make you discard fire energies, things of that nature that cost 4 or 5 fire energies that we're seeing so consistently in the format right now, you don't have to worry about that attack cost. It just costs 1 dark energy. Dark is a good type to be hitting weakness against things like Malamar right now. This is a really great card that I think is not seeing any play that I think should be on the radar. We've got another attacker. We are playing 2 Eevees and 2 Umbreons. This Umbreon, I believe, is from Lost Thunder. This is the newer Eevee from Hidden Fates. I just like it because it's hollow. I'm not sure if it's the best one to play. There's probably a better Eevee to play, but I like shiny stuff. Umbreon's got the attack Retaliate. We've seen this in decks that have had some success before with Spiritomb, and it's been teched into a few things. 1 dark energy, 30, but it does 90 more if one of your Pokemon was knocked out on your opponent's last turn, so it's a revenge attack. Those are the main 2 attackers of the deck. They have the same energy cost, the same retreat cost, both non-GX attackers, 1 prizers, which is, this deck is all 1 prizers, as you're going to see. We've got a few tech attackers in the deck as well. We are playing 1 Tapu Fini from Unified Minds, and I think I misspoke. I think I said Unbroken Bonds. I believe this Malamar is actually from Unified Minds, so I apologize for that. We're playing Tapu Fini. Of course, for Nature Wave, it costs 3 energy, but if your opponent's active is an Ultra Beast, it only costs 1 colorless. So again, 1 energy, 1 prize attacker. It's able to one-shot Blacephalon, which is a popular card in the format right now. If your opponent's not playing Blacephalon, you're probably not going to be playing this card. And then we play 1 Buzzwole for that Sledgehammer attack. Good against Pikarom, good against Darkbox. It gives you 1 turn to hit 120 with Sledgehammer if your opponent's at 3 prizes. It's 30 plus 90. That's a card that's seen a lot of play. You guys all know what that does. And then we've got a couple support Pokemon. We are running a 2-2 line of Zebstrika just for draw power. You want to be able to draw through the deck as quick as you can. So that's just there for draw power. And then we are playing 1 copy of Mew with the bench barrier ability. So your opponent can't hit your Pokemon on the bench. Everything here is pretty squishy. You got pretty low HP. We don't want it getting knocked out by a Tag Bolt. We don't want it getting chipped away by something else. So 1 copy of Mew. On to the supporters. We are playing an Elm engine. This has kind of fallen off, but I think it's best for this because we really do lack items that search for non-GX Pokemon right now, which is really a shame. Hopefully they'll rectify that situation soon. 4 Elms. Search your deck for 3 Pokemon with 60 HP or less. They're pretty much here to search for Inkay and Eevee and Mew. You want to hit this on your first turn, pretty much every turn with this deck, so that we're playing the full line of 4. Next we have 4 Cynthia, just best draw support in the game, shuffle draw 6. We don't play Lily in the deck because we want to Elm on turn 1 each time, so this is the strongest draw supporter that we have. And a lot of time my hand can be thick in this deck, so I don't play Erica. I play 2 Tate and Liza for more shuffle draw and for the option to switch if I need it. And more shuffle draw, we play Judge. 2 copies of Judge, that's Shuffle Draw and Disruption. I love playing Judge with Zebstrika because I can judge you and Zebstrika, not worried about getting stuck with 4 bad cards. I can get a chance to look at 4 more. This deck is going to take 2 shots sometimes. Sometimes you're going to get the big 1 shots depending on what's in your opponent's hand, but you do want a little bit of disruption in the deck as well, and I really want a lot of shuffle draw in the deck, keeping resources in the deck for later to keep my evolution lines available to me. That's it for supporters. On to the items. We're playing 4 copies of Pokemon Communication. It's kind of the best thing we have to search out non-GX Pokemon right now. We play a lot of Pokemon. I also play 2 copies of Mysterious Treasure. That could find Inkay and Mew. I want to find Inkays and Mew typically with Elm early on, so later on I can use Treasure to find what's left of those Inkays in the deck and just maybe Pokemon Communication them out for something else that I need. A thicker line of Treasure could be good in the deck, and less Elm. I'm experimenting with that as well, but this is what I like for now. Next, we are playing 4 copies of Pokegear 3.0. I would love to have Ultra Ball Lele to hit that Elm first turn. We don't have that, unfortunately, so 4 copies of Pokegear, 4 copies of Elm is the best thing we can do to consistently get a turn 1 Elm off. The next thing you're going to see is kind of strange. This is Surprise Box. This is a card that says put a card from your opponent's discard pile into their hand. It's the item card. So this is great against something like Perfection, something like Pikarom, something like Charizard. You can put something back, like if they're playing the Dragonite, you can put that back in their hand and then you can one-shot the Reshizard with that. You can put attackers that they're kind of relying on using in the Perfection deck back in their hand and just have them kind of stuck with it while you're also using the attack of something else, because Malamar does re-discard the card if you choose to use the attack, but sometimes you can put this back in their hand and kind of take away an attacker from Perfection. That's a really cool card that's not seeing a lot of play. 2 U-turn boards. Almost everything in the deck has a 1 retreat cost. I don't play Switch, I just play the 2 U-turn boards. 1 Stadium Nav. I want to control the Stadium game with this deck, and you're going to see the Stadiums here in just a moment. And 1 Reset Stamp, just for disruption. I play 2 Judges. I thought about playing 2 or 3 Reset Stamps, but with the 2 Judges, I think 1 is fine. You just got to manage your resources well when you play a thin line of something like that, just the 1 Reset Stamp. And this is a Shrine deck, so we are playing 4 Shrine of Punishment. There's nothing GX here. This doesn't hurt you at all. 10 extra damage between each turn. I think Shrine is kind of weakened lately with all the stadiums that are in play. There's Power Plant, there's Lysander Labs, all kinds of things. I think Shrine gets bumped a lot. That's why I'm playing the full 4 of. That little bit of extra damage can help. And then I am playing 1 Black Market. That's a card that if there's a Dark Energy attached to your Pokemon, your opponent takes 1 less prize card. So if you have this in play and a Malamar or an Umbreon gets knocked out, your opponent's not going to take any prize cards at all, which is disruptive and good. And they're already going to have to take 6 knockouts to beat this deck as it is. And you're hitting crazy numbers with the Malamar, theoretically. So that's pretty strong. We are playing 4 copies of Unit Energy. It provides Dark Fighting and Fairy. The reason we're playing that is for the Buzzwole. So he can use Swing Around or he can use Sledgehammer. And then it provides Dark for the rest of the attackers in the deck. And then we're also playing 4 just regular old copies of Dark Energy to get those attacks off as well. This deck is really fun, and I've actually seen some good success with this. I haven't taken this to a tournament yet, but I'm debating taking it to a cup this weekend. It's testing well against Mewtwo, it's testing well against Reshizard, and it's testing well against Pikarom. And I think if you can find something that tests well against those decks, you're in a pretty good position, and I don't think anyone is ready for this Malamar. I think in a best of 3, your opponent's going to play a little more cautiously once they see what you're up to and see what your shenanigans are, and it may weaken. So I'm not sure if this is the best pick for a regional, but for a challenge or for a cup, I think you could really surprise some people with this deck. I think the engine's strong. I think it does what it's supposed to do 9 times out of 10, and I am a big fan of this deck. Big fan of this deck. It's really frustrating for your opponent to play around, especially like I said in that Perfection deck if they're having trouble discarding some of the attackers, and they're worried about you using the attack against them, and even if they do discard them, you can just surprise box it right back into their hand. So yeah, that is Dark Malamar. If you guys have any questions or comments, ways you think you can make it better, I would love to hear about that. Thank you guys for taking the time to watch. I really appreciate it. I'm Caleb. That's Ben. Say bye, Ben. We're going to be doing some more deck profiles. I'm actually going to be doing some gameplay on PTCGO with this deck. Hopefully that'll be up tomorrow. And I look forward to letting you guys see this deck in action. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Like I said, like, subscribe, comment. I would love to hear your feedback. If you think it sucks, if you think it's great, let me know. Thanks a lot.
Have a good day.